Welcome back. We'll be getting back to the action at the Weber Cup in just a couple of moments' time. But I've come into the crowd, deep into the heart of Team Europe territory, and I have Craig and Steve alongside me. Craig, let me ask you first. This is your 4th Weber Cup. How much are you enjoying the occasion here?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely excellent to see. We've got the 4 best bowlers in Europe here, and we've got Dominic, Stu, Larsen and Mika. I mean, you couldn't ask for 4 better blokes to be out there on the lane showing these USA blokes how we do it.
Now, before I go, I've got to ask you, can Team Europe win this Weber Cup? What do you reckon?
Of course we can, yes!
It's a yes from the Europe fans. Let's take a look at what's happened so far.
Europe have the lead and the momentum. They were 4 behind, but now they've fought back and are 1 ahead. They'll be hoping to make it 2 as we head into the final match of the session, and it's a doubles game. Playing for Team Europe, it's the 2 Brits looking to revenge last year's defeat, Dom Barrett and Stuart Williams.
You don't want to go around shouting too often to Americans that we're going to, shove it in their face when we beat them, like they did to us last year, but for sure we're feeling confident. No, we're all in good form. I think we're all quietly confident. After what happened last year, we're not going to shout our mouth off too much.
We want revenge, you know. There's no way of looking at it other than it was embarrassing last year, and we want them to feel like we felt last year. So yeah, we want to put them down.
Playing for the Americans, it's the 2 players who threw back-to-back perfect games, Tommy Jones and Chris Barnes.
We always want to win. There's no lack of desire with our team. We're a highly competitive team, whether for medals, for tour titles, for pride. All of that's plenty for us to put everything we have out on the line every time we play. They're probably hungry after last year, after their loss last year. It was probably in some ways embarrassing because they are great bowlers and great competitors, and I don't expect it to be that same way again. But at the end of the day, I expect the Team USA to come out on top.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for our next and final match of the session. Please welcome, representing Team Europe, Dom Barrett and Stuart Williams. And now representing Team USA, it's Tommy Jones and Chris Barnes. Europe build on their lead. Let's hand you over to our commentators, Cass Edwards and Andy Bodfish.
Europe are on their best run of form in this year's Weber Cup. They've won the last 3 matches, 1 doubles and 2 singles. They lead this session by 4 matches to 1. Of course, they won the opening Baker as well. Only red mark as far as the United States are concerned on the overall leaderboard from this session, as Tommy Jones opens with a strike. Came with Jones and Barnes beating Dom Barrett and Martin Larsen in match 20. It is the same partnership, the big guns, if you will, of the United States team against Dom Barrett and Stu Williams here. But the Barrett-Williams partnership in force at the start of session 2 against Tommy Jones and Mike Fagan. They won that with a 2.79, and that score would have been good enough to beat the 2.35 posted by Jones and Barnes in beating Barrett and Larsen, Cass.
Yes, it's very much a swings and roundabouts scenario. It is a funny old game, and both teams have started off with a strike. It's the doubles format, so the lead-off man strikes and then it changes. So Barnes now leads off in the Mr. 300 team, and unfortunately can only ring a 10-pin, and he really is getting frustrated, Chris, with this this lane. They're playing on 41 feet of oil, but this lane has been played on twice now, so we're sort of in the Burns situation where the back end of the lane is really dry. Oil has moved around, and players will not be getting the necessary ball reaction that they're looking for.
So there's a spare for Tommy to aim at here. Straightforwardly made by Mr. 300. Well, you call them the Mr. 300 team. Absolutely bang on. Back-to-back perfect matches from these two players in matches 2 and 3 back in the opening session. Dom Barrett on the receiving end of Barnes' 300. And Mika Koivuniemi had to sit in his chair and applaud like the rest of us as Tommy Jones made another perfect game in the Weber Cup, his 4th. And let's not forget as well, he posted a 2.99 as well in 2011, I think it was. Here's Stuart Williams. And Europe are perfect through 2 here.
Yeah, great looking shot from Stuart, and a lot of vocal encouragement from Mika Koivuniemi, the European captain, sitting very close by. Yeah, he really liked that one.
Chris Barnes spared last time out for the United States, so is he to lead off again here?
Yes, and he will lead off until he gets a strike. That's the situation with this doubles format. Chris ranked as #1 player in the world this year.
That's why.
Great looking shot. It wasn't an awful lot different from the last shot, which left the 10-pin, maybe just a little bit higher this time. But it all counts. Lays the ball nicely down. Then a lot of reaction in the back end. As I say, this lane is drying up nicely, which gives the players a lot more hook when they particularly want it.
And it's Europe who've moved into the outside lane first in this doubles matchup. Strikes in each of frames 1 and 2. Here's Dom Barrett. And 2 from 2 for him personally.
Yeah, great looking shot from the boys in blue, the Europeans. Great pals off the lane as well. Play in the United States together as the only Englishmen that go out there and compete regularly. And that's the situation after 3 frames. Perfect for the 2 UK bowlers representing Europe.
Tommy Jones strikes back for the United States.
Not unusually, Tommy Jones has got a strike. Seems that every time he gets up on this lane, he's around that pocket and carries most pins all of the time. Stated once before he wanted to take this lane home with him. Well, couldn't get it on the plane, but he certainly owns it. And now Stuart Williams coming up looking for 4 in a row. Takes a deep breath before he starts. The man that doesn't follow through quite as much as all the other players do when he gets to the bottom of that arm swing. But look at the rotation he gets on the ball, and will it go?
Oh, the 10 helped him out. The 7 didn't want to know.
Right.
So they lose their perfect sequence here, Europe. And it's a 7-pin spare for Dom Barrett to try and take out now.
Oh, the 7-pin got hit front and back, and look at that, it's almost over. That would have been a strike had it gone, but down comes the pin spotter and catches it. So it can only be a spare if Dom Barrett hits this one hard and straight at him.
He's able to do it, but Europe's maximum just drops down to 279 now.
Just an example here, a profile of the 2 European players, both with quite high backswing, but Dom's followed through and that arm comes right up. Stuart Williams not quite so much. Both the deep knee bend. 2 great looking players.
Oof, broke very, very early there from Chris Barnes. He's not his usual self in this last matchup of the session. And they don't need him to suffer a dip in form now, the American skipper.
Doesn't look very happy with that, does he? Look, doesn't break any pins up. He's got the 3, 6, 9 and the 10, and a very awkward spare on the right-hand side of the lane. And you can look at Chris Barnes' face. Dear, oh dear. He's not happy. His game is just going off the boil a little bit. And it might be time for the two Europeans to take advantage of this. Jones must spare to stay in this. And that's a great looking shot, covering that 9-pin at the back there. Really well done. Here's two more swingers, the ones from America. Jones with a really high backswing and a really deep knee bend. Look at that knee bending, taking all that stress. Barnes as well, just falls off the shot. Two of the top players in the world in profile.
Europe perfect through the first three. Spare for Stuart Williams, frame 4. So lead-off man again. And he will be once more. Another spare for Stu.
Yeah, I thought he was actually going to hit a Brooklyn strike there. It was quite solid on the left-hand side of the head pin. And that normally takes him out, but there's a bit of deadwood there and it won't do the damage. Look at that. Kicks the 10 out, but not the 6. Leaves it standing there. Can only be a spare. Hard and fast again from Dom Barrett, and that will do nicely.
Clean as a whistle there from Europe's 4-man Dom Barrett.
And that's how we are at the halfway stage.